Hello, everybody. This is Dan and Anthony once again for the ThePreGameLobby. A lot has happened this week.
Yep.
A lot. So we're gonna save, obviously, the big thing, which is the PS4, for last.
Spoilers.
But yeah, spoilers. Like this.
First hear the inside scoop. You know, not like the PlayStation 4 has been announced or anything, but we have all these details. We don't know where we got them from. They're just details about the PlayStation 4 that nobody's heard about before.
They just popped into our heads one day.
Exactly.
Like,
so inside scoop,
happen.
heard it here first. Pre-game lobby. I wonder when they're going to announce the PlayStation 4.
That is it.
I wonder how accurate it will be.
All right. Well, so that's what we're gonna handle last. The first thing we're gonna talk about is that the standalone expansion or mod for Arma 3.
Arma 2.
Arma 2.
Basically, what Dan is trying to say is that
you wrote it really weird. On that or
how can I write it weird on an iPad?
Or I have dyslexia.
You probably have dyslexia because you chose that font and it's your iPad, so I don't want to hear anything.
Just fucking talk, right?
The standalone version of DayZ and the upcoming Arma 3 from Bohemia Entertainment, both of which will be PC exclusives. They will not be coming to the consoles.
Which I am actually rather pleased with. There's no way you could play Arma on an Xbox or a PlayStation.
There's no way Dan can play Arma in general.
No, do you have any idea how many key bindings there are and how many commands for the keyboard there is?
Arma always...
There simply are not enough buttons.
I think
on a
Arma
controller.
is most comfortable on the PC.
It's the only way to play it.
Good point.
Like,
you make a good point.
And the DayZ mod that's remaining on the PC as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which it will be a standalone game eventually.
Yeah. Actually, they now started to advertise the DayZ mod on Steam as its own thing.
Yeah, I noticed that a while ago.
It's actually pretty cool. I think this is like the biggest mod ever. Like
one of the biggest, for sure.
Definitely one of the biggest mods that I've seen in.
I know there was a lot of old school shooters that people love that happen to be mods too. Like was Counter-Strike one of those? I think
Counter-Strike Source.
No, wasn't Counter-Strike a mod of Half-Life at a certain point?
Oh yeah, I think it was. That was probably the biggest one.
And Team Fortress, I think, was as well. Some Valve stuff, a lot of Valve stuff.
Team Fortress, they with Team Fortress 2, they completely did a 180 with the franchise.
But I'm talking about where it started with Team Fortress 1.
Well, yeah, but that has... Nobody really knows about Team Fortress 1. It was so...
Was Quake a mod, too?
I think Quake was a mod. Or a mod was based off of Quake.
The biggest one in a long time.
Yeah.
That I think is appropriate to say.
For such a young industry. Definitely, I would say.
Well, I'm talking about DayZ again. DayZ is the biggest mod in a long time.
Yes. So yeah, that's going to be exclusively on PC, which I'm actually happy about.
Not that you like Arma anyway.
Moving on from that, Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance, and Crysis 3 came out. I bought Crysis. Anthony, you bought Metal Gear. And I would just like to say that Crysis was definitely worth the $60. I haven't even beaten it yet. I think I'm on the last level, and it's really, really fun.
Really?
They really refined the sandbox shooter gameplay, and the Predator bow that you can shoot while remaining cloaked really kind of changes the way changed the way I play Crysis.
Really?
Because I only use the Predator bow now.
I remember just as someone who hasn't been paying attention, the bow is the most advertised thing ever for Crysis 3.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there going, is this really a big deal?
It's a big deal because it's just the way they didn't even throw a huge spin on what a bow and arrow would be, because honestly, what huge spin could you throw on what a bow and arrow could do? But like a lot of other games, there are different tips for different circumstances. Like you have, if an enemy's walking through the water and you shoot the electrified tip into the water, it kills them instantly.
Obviously.
There's explosive tips, thermite tips, which melt through heavy armor, and then there's just your regular arrow, which you can actually. It's really cool. The way they explain it in the game is that this technology that's built into the bow is mapped to your suit, so that you can actually change the setting on the bow and make it good for close quarters combat, medium range, or long range. And depending on which one you do, Prophet will actually pull the bow, he'll pull the bow either really quickly for like a quick shot at an enemy, or if somebody's really far away, I can hold down my select button because I use my Xbox controller on my PC.
Okay.
Hold down my select button and I select the long option, but it takes you like a good 2 to 3 seconds to like pull back the bow, and you hear the straining of the metal strings and everything. It's really, really cool. But when you do that, you can pin an enemy to a wall, which is neat. But like I said before, the really cool part about the bow, especially for a game like Crysis, is that you can remain cloaked while you shoot the bow. Every other weapon in the Crysis universe was not the case.
Okay.
You would have to come out of cloak to shoot the gun. So that changed up the gameplay immensely. At least for me.
It allows like a very
different
stealth,
type of gameplay.
deep kind of
Because
stealth
it really
vibe.
gives you the ingredients to play the game how you want to play it. If you want to
Okay.
just creep around and pick off enemies one by one.
If you wanted
can do
to,
that.
could you get away with using the bow for most of the game?
That's what I've been doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Actually, whenever I have the chance, I use the bow. And it's been like the entire game so far.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I think is really cool about the Crysis lore, everything is very believable.
Really?
Like, maybe with the exception of the aliens.
Okay.
The technology itself
Okay.
is believable. Like, you really feel like a super soldier.
Okay.
110%. Which a lot of games really miss that mark when they set out to make this type of game. Bottom line, I like it a lot. I think it was worth the money. And if you enjoy sandbox shooters with a lot of player freedom, then I highly recommend you guys pick it up. And I will only get on the PC. I tried it on the Xbox. It looked terrible. At least in comparison, because I've been playing Crysis on the PC since it came out, and it always looks incredible on the PC. So.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, take it away with Metal Gear.
One last thing about Crysis, though.
Yeah.
If you, pre-order or got the special edition, didn't you get Crysis 1 as a downloadable thing?
If you pre-ordered it from Origin, I think, you got Crysis 1 as a download, as a free download.
Are you sure? I don't know. I heard something about it for, consoles. I don't know.
No, well, I'm sure it was for consoles. I think it was for consoles through a certain retailer.
I think it was GameStop. I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah, going on to Metal Gear Rising, I actually haven't gotten much of a chance to play through all of it. I've been going really slowly through that game.
I heard it had a really short campaign.
I hear that too. I'm not sure. I think I'm from what little I've played, I think I've beaten a third of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're me, you're sitting here going, "Wow, that's not a whole lot," because I haven't played a lot of that game. From what I've played, though, I've got to say, unlike
They got really good reviews.
Oh yeah, it's very fun. The combat's great.
Yeah.
Unlike games like DMC or God of War or the old Devil May Cry games, there's no it's more noticeable in the new DMC. There's no mindless dodging and evade moves.
Yeah.
If you want to block attacks and defend against attacks, you need to use timing. And by the way, that parrying system that you were confused about, I totally get it now. I totally understand it. The parrying system.
The parrying system.
Where you
I had a problem with the blade mode.
Oh.
Yeah, because in blade mode, time comes to a grinding halt, and I didn't cope well with the dramatic change of pace.
Oh, okay.
Because at least in the demo that I was playing, the camera was inverted. So when I would go into blade mode, I was pushing the analog stick up, and I was going down, or vice versa.
Well, that's
very annoying.
Well, Dan, you'll have that problem with just about any game if the cameras are inverted.
No, I get that.
You couldn't change it at all?
I guess I didn't really take the time out to do so.
Ridiculous, Dan. Ridiculous.
Know.
But anyway, yeah, the game is really fun, and as I was trying to say, it doesn't really... If you want to, dodge an attack, you really need to go out of your way to do it, or you need to learn how to parry. And parrying, after a while, you get used to it. It's if you try to be brainless with it, it gives you a very wide window of opportunity to parry. The second an enemy, there's a telltale, red glow around them, that's the immediate time you can parry.
Okay.
So, but, if the enemy's across the room and you go into the parry stance... It's not going to be effective when they finally hit you. It's kind of you go back and they go back. if you time it properly, you can do these massive counterattacks.
Cool.
So it's not as mindless as other action games where you can just like dodge and recuperate and all shit like that. And in the end, it has a very unique feel to it, where you need precision to like heal up and everything like that with the blade mode.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm enjoying it so far. I think it was worth the money.
Cool. Yeah, so both Crysis and Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, both very solid games.
Very strong outings.
If you guys like shooters, pick up Crysis. If you guys like action games, pick up Metal Gear.
And if you like both, you're fucked. Drop $120.
I don't know. My wallet wouldn't be able to take that kind of a hit.
Yeah.
Not
right now, anyway.
So next thing on our list is going to be a new Mass Effect DLC.
Mm-hmm. Mass Effect Citadel.
Yeah, Mass Effect Citadel and the new multiplayer pack, which is actually coming out a decent amount of time before Citadel. Is Mass Effect 3 Reckoning is the final multiplayer DLC, also going to be free, which is very nice. But it's adding in a lot more stuff. But I'm going to start with Citadel first because I actually have the BioWare blog open right now on my iPad, so I'll just kind of paraphrase off of that. So. Big surprise, a sinister conspiracy is targeting Shepard, and your team has to uncover the truth.
Oh, sounds like the entire trilogy.
It says, through battles and intrigue that range from the glamour of the Citadel's wars to the top secret council archives. So I guess you're going to be delving pretty far into the Citadel as we know it.
History, I guess.
Yeah. Now you have to uncover the truth and follow alongside your squad, blah, 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 blah. Here's the really cool part. You can actually interact with the cast from all 3 Mass Effect games. Mm-hmm. That's really, really neat. Including Erd Not Wrecked.
I like how they highlight that, because he was one of the most popular and probably one of the bigger demands.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, when the DLC when the DLC is actually over and done with, you can, meet up with these characters in, from out the Mass Effect trilogy, and you can actually go into a casino, or you can go into the Armax Combat Arena, which sounds pretty neat.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. Or you can actually explore Shepard's furnished living quarters as they
Shepard's apartment.
Yeah, pretty much. But that's all it says. I hope it's gonna be a really big piece of DLC, because they said that it was gonna
be the last.
It's going to be the last piece of single-player DLC, and apparently it's going to make us cry.
If any, like, they said they were working on DLC that's going to make us cry.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't sound like...
I don't know. It's kind of odd for all of a sudden, like, after two DLCs that kind of, one was a lot about backstory, one was like an additional mission, for all of a sudden it just to grind to a halt like this.
Yeah, I don't know, but...
I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact that recently I've been, like, getting really back into Mass Effect that
really?
I'm kind of yeah. I don't know what it is. Like, after I had that revelation in the middle of the floor. Dan.
Yeah, tell the good people your revelation.
I don't know. I walked over to Dan at work, and I'm just like, Dan. Shepard is a fucking badass. And now I want to, like, I don't know, it just hit me right in the middle of work. I'm just like, I gotta play these games again. Shepard's so fucking cool. But I don't know. Maybe it's just because of that, but I'm kind of sad to hear that this is where it ends with this Citadel DLC.
I don't know. Hopefully this conspiracy... Well, actually...
Hopefully this conspiracy, spans across, 30 extra hours of gameplay.
Now, you're going to have to refresh my memory here. Which ending did you choose? Spoilers, by the way.
Spoilers. We'll just give them 3 seconds.
Yeah. Okay.
I destroyed the Reapers.
Okay, you destroyed them. Okay, so did I. All right. Now, did you see any other endings? Did you watch them all?
Yeah, I've seen them all.
I actually haven't.
Really?
I don't know why I haven't.
You said you wanted to go through all of them.
I know I did. I just never really watched them. But anyway, so I destroyed them as well. But so in the destroy ending,
the last scene you see,
the last scene is Shepard taking his final breath in this
or
pile
just
of rubble.
Inhaling in general.
Yeah,
that could be him just...
But,
they never say final breath, because that's him breathing in, not him breathing out.
Yeah, but it was a quick and
it was only quick because they cut away immediately after he breathed.
Well, no, because he wasn't breathing. He was just like, and then it cut.
That could be him resuscitating himself, or how...
Well, I know, but it suggested that he was unconscious and then he got zapped back to life.
Then
That's
why
my
the fuck
point.
were you saying Final Breath? That's what I was implying. You're just like...
I said Final Breath?
Yes, you did.
Okay, I'm more tired than I thought then.
That's really retarded.
Anyway, they've got to sum up Shepard's story. Do you know what happens in the... Well, actually, please enlighten me as to what happens in the Control or... what is it?
Without completely spoiling it for you, in the Control and Synthesis endings, and in the Fuck You ending...
Oh, yeah.
the no.
I know about the fuck you ending, yeah.
The no, and
you fucking walk away.
The BioWare fan ending.
Oh, God.
That scene doesn't happen, suffice to say.
What, the fuck you ending?
No, in all of them, the little scene at the end.
That scene doesn't happen?
Yeah.
So what happens then?
Okay, basically in Synthesis... he grabs onto these two pillars, and he basically disintegrates and becomes, like, kind of this...
He becomes that, like, child spirit thing?
Not really, kind of, but, like, he becomes this all-knowing keeper of the Reapers, essentially.
Oh, okay.
And he controls them and uses them to rebuild. And while he's not still Shepard, but yet he is at the same time, and basically he vows to, like, watch over them. In a way, with the Reapers, he vows to, like, watch over life. And in Synthesis, his entire essence is basically digitalized and sent out across the universe, so everybody's a perfect mesh of organics and synthetics.
Okay.
So the Reapers just leave because there's no threat of, like...
Of us destroying ourselves?
Of the synthetics and the organics destroying each other. That threat is gone because now they're all organic and synthetic.
Gotcha.
And in the fuck you ending, everybody dies. I just, just to go back to that real quick, I just find it so humorous that BioWare basically, like, you know how, like one of the biggest arguments is, like, Shepard wouldn't be such a pushover, he would have found a way to work around it. So they put that Shepard possibility in the game of Shepard going, we'll find our own way to do it. I guarantee it. And then it, like, fades to black where, like, everybody was wiped the fuck out. Oh my goodness. That's funny.
What the hell was I gonna say?
You were talking about, we were on the topic of Shepard breathing.
Right.
Shepard's badass breathing.
I have to, that only, like, begs the question, which ending would they actually go with to close off the series, or at least the trilogy?
That just delves into, like, the whole thing of, like, player choice and, like, how do you continue the series in a forward direction?
Yeah.
Without, like,
But you think the Citadel DLC is gonna be like every other piece where it just takes place in the middle of everything?
Yes.
See, I fucking hate that.
I think, and also...
Well, no, let me take it back. I don't hate that, but in this circumstance, I'm hating it.
Yeah. I talked to you about the indoctrination theory, right?
Yeah, which kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, that blew my mind, too.
That was never proven, right?
No, if they ever acted on that, I think that would be, like, such a fan-driven, like, loophole that BioWare could have used to wiggle out of that. I mean, not to say that they needed to, but I'm content with the endings, believe it or not. I'm content.
No, so am I.
The only thing I don't like is how that fuck you tease that we were just talking about, where is Shepard still alive? That kind of deal. That's the only thing.
But how do we know he doesn't get wiped out with the rest of the humans?
No, not the fuck you ending, the tease at the end of the destroy ending.
Oh.
I shouldn't have called it the fuck you ending, because now we're gonna get confused. But, I mean, other than that, I'm perfectly fine, but I would be okay with the indoctrination theory being, like, an actual...
Like a choice?
Yeah, like an actual, like, ending possibility. I would be okay with that.
Yeah, but how would they act on that? Like, that doesn't mean...
The ball is in their court.
Well, we shouldn't even be talking about it, because it's never going to happen, first of all.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something to consider.
Not even. That's never
to think
ever
about.
To
think about.
Whatever.
What else?
Well, hold on. Let me jump back to the blog, because then we have the Reckoning DLC, which is their final multiplayer. Oh, I forgot to mention, Citadel is going to be $15 or 1,200 Microsoft points, and it's going to be available on March 5th on Xbox, PC,
March
and PS3.
5th?
Yeah.
That's right around the corner, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And Mass Effect, the Reckoning DLC is going to be available Tuesday. So it's going to be pretty cool. But anyway.
So basically tomorrow.
There's going to be 7 new weapons, a few new characters, and a couple new classes. So you have the Geth Juggernaut, the Cabal Vanguard, the Talon Mercenary, and the Alliance Infiltration Unit. And more, apparently. So that's only some of the classes available. Now there's this special weapon being added called the Biotic Hammer. Sea Gravity Hammer for that one.
Sea Gravity.
Yeah, because it's the same thing. But there's 7 new weapons. There's the Geth Spitfire Assault Rifle, the Venom Shotgun, the Lancer Assault Rifle, and a Geth Scanner and Assault Rifle Omniblade. What? Hold on. It says, wield 7 new weapons for multiplayer, including the Geth Spitfire Assault Rifle, the Venom Shotgun, Lancer Assault Rifle, and amplify your arsenal with new equipment and weapon mods featuring the Geth Scanner and Assault Rifle Omniblade. That sounds fucking awesome.
So basically like a bayonet.
But it's an assault rifle.
Assault rifle.
They said
Omniblade.
assault rifle. You read it. It's the middle paragraph right there. Assault rifle Omniblade.
What I'm saying is like it's an Omniblade on the assault rifle?
I don't know.
The fuck is
I
that?
don't know. That's kind of mind blowing.
I've got to say, I like how there's been like almost a continuous amount of support going into Mass Effect. I mean, we're going on a year basically.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
We are.
Citadel comes out
March
on the
5th.
day. Oh, the day before Mass Effect.
It came out March 6th?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it only makes sense. It's going to be on a Tuesday. So. And so does
Am I
Citizen
right?
that day.
No, it came out March 13th. I'm a fucking idiot.
I don't even remember that. Well, where's the poster?
Oh, right there.
March 6th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a poster right there. March 6th.
So it's almost exactly 1 year.
Yeah.
Huh.
Do you think they planned that?
Interesting. Probably. If I had to guess.
It's a shame. I mean, I took you for granted, Mass Effect. Love
but
Mass Effect.
yeah, this Reckoning DLC is seriously something that I'm looking forward to. Honestly, as well as the Citadel.
You better be looking
whole
forward to
thing. I mean,
Citadel.
I'm just, you know me, I'm a huge Mass Effect junkie.
Get that N7 cake for N7 Day.
I want my N7. Okay, let me tell this story to the people. I'm gonna broadcast this across the air because I want this back, right?
Yeah, you're not gonna get it back. Not
I
like
know,
this.
but I'm still. Maybe it might me feel a little bit better. Okay. Let's see. About a week or so ago, some douche broke into my car and stole all of my airsoft guns and my Mass Effect N7 sneakers. Okay, I'm not even that pissed about the airsoft guns. I just want the fucking shoes back. Those have sentimental value. I'm the only one of 2,500 ever made. Okay, I want them back. All right, I had to say that.
You okay?
No, I'm not okay. I want my shoes back. Damn it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Okay. Anything else you want to add to this Mass Effect segment?
I'm still. My only thing to say is that I am kind of disappointed that like the DLC ends. It just feels like so soon, even though it's been like a year.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's so much more they could have done with Shepard's story in general.
Really?
That's just me.
Well, I don't know. They did a lot with it.
They did do a lot. No, I mean like, I feel like. I guess it's fine. It's
okay.
I guess it's okay.
You clearly have some kind of a problem with it, so
Nah, I'm okay with
spit
it.
it out, boy.
There's nothing left to say. I'm
All
fine.
right. Fair enough. I just kind of want. I need them to expand upon that destroy ending. That I need closure with that one.
You're not going.
This
to
is
get
the ending
closure.
of a fucking trilogy. I want some closure with
You're not
that.
gonna get closure.
What a right on my goddamn parade, douchebag.
You're not gonna get closure. I'm just
Oh
gonna
my
keep
God.
saying that.
But
But I do like the fact that it's centering around Shepard and his connection to his squad mates throughout the series. That's a nice little touch.
yeah. Okay, so this brings us to the last segment of the podcast, which is going to be the last half of it.
Okay.
Okay. And this is the PlayStation 4 press conference, which was on February 20th. That was only 4 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, or 5 days ago if you're going to be listening to this. But yeah, they showed off a lot more than I thought we would get. Anthony,
I'm listening.
will you have anything to add to that?
Well, not
Did you-
really. I mean, that was they showed a decent amount.
Well, like-
Solid.
They kept it on. What are you doing?
Nothing.
I'm
listening to you.
I don't believe you.
You can.
I can't see what's on the screen. I don't believe you.
I'm not. I'm listening. Fucking speak.
Oh my goodness. And I want you to pay
You
attention.
got my full attention. I'm like,
Anyway, yeah, we got a lot more than I thought we would get. See, they're just being a douchebag.
Okay. I personally thought we got a solid amount. Not too much.
We saw the controller, not the console.
I don't know why people are so upset about that.
It's just funny.
You know what's inside the console. You're seeing what it's playing.
Speaking of what's inside the console, my dear friend.
Oh, is that where you want to start?
We might as well. We'll save the games for afterwards. But speaking of what's inside the console, we have basically what Sony is calling a supercharged PC.
Okay.
Which is essentially a PC. So, alright. We have 8 gigs of unified dedicated memory, which is DDR5, which is fucking crazy of unified memory. Like, nothing has DDR5 memory except for graphics cards, but that's only, 2 gigs at the most, with most higher-end cards today. And this is 8 gigs of solid state. Well, everything, any memory is solid state, but yeah. This is 8 gigs of dedicated memory, which is insane. We also have an x86 architecture CPU. So, do you know what that means before we move on?
Just explain anyway. I know what it means, but explain it anyway.
Okay, well, basically, for those of you out there who are kind of computer savvy or whatnot, we have operating systems that are 32-bit based or 64-bit based. There is 86, but it's really never or not supported. And bits is basically how much 32-bit or 64-bit operating system basically dictates how many bits of information can be stored in each byte. I think that's the way it works. But it's that many bits of information, and when you get up to 86, that's a lot. When I took my computer science class, we actually learned how to convert the 32-bit or the 64-bit, or in this case the 86-bit, into binary, and how much information they could really hold, per byte, and that's a shitload.
It's a shitload.
Well, because there's so many variables and so many characters in that type of architecture, it's crazy. And this is the PS4 is going to have this, and from the gameplay I've seen, there's been so much that they're able to render now on the screen at any given time. It's breathtaking.
It is. And that's something I've noticed in all of the demos and all of the gameplay. All of the visuals are breathtaking.
Yeah, like the new Killzone game, for example. When the guy when whatever his name was flying around on that hovercraft thing.
You go through a whole city that's still fully alive.
It's fully alive, and there's moving parts everywhere you look. Nothing is dull or standing still or anything.
Yeah.
It's fully alive, which is crazy. Nothing's been able to touch that yet. Which really begs the question for me, what is Microsoft going to come out with? Because they recently registered a website, I think it's Xbox event or something like that, for April. So I guess we're gonna see what the new Xbox is like in April.
I guess so.
But anyway, this thing, Sony's calling it a supercharged PC, which is basically what it is under the hood. I mean, it's got more dedicated RAM than any computer that I've seen thus far, and I'm talking video memory, not random access memory.
Yeah.
And the processor that this thing is packing is crazy, just insane, because you can actually download an 86-bit operating system today, but it's going to be absolutely useless because no software developer is going to support it, and they're creating a video game console based around this architecture type. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what developers do, and it's always when a new console comes out, in the beginning, the games, they look good for the beginning, but they just get better and better as time goes on.
Yeah.
It's going to be insane. This next generation is going to just knock us on our asses.
It's going to be something else graphically.
Yeah. But
and it's interesting.
It brings you back to the whole thing, when do we really want a next generation? I've always said I want at least another 2 or 3 years before we get new consoles. clearly that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
All right?
They're basically knocking on the door.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only a matter of when they get tired of knocking and just fucking bang it down.
Yeah.
And
what were you going to say?
You know, it's interesting with all, like, the different specs you're throwing around that are essentially, like, mind-blowing specs. Developers have been saying, apparently, that it's relatively easy to develop.
Yeah, it's
for the
easier to
PS4.
develop for this architecture set because they have more wiggle room to work with, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But everything they have now, it's too claustrophobic. It's too confined.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can't really branch out into the places that they want to. And we've pretty much hit the graphical cap for consoles today.
Pretty much.
I mean, the graphics cards in these machines are fucking 5 and 6 years old. That's ancient for technology.
Just to think about how fast technology moves.
Yeah, that's just
especially
crazy.
like the games and computers and graphics department.
Yeah. So that's the hardware end of things. The software, like the operating system on the PS4, it looks really nice. It has a very PlayStation feel to it. Mm-hmm. But the things they're doing with like the social gaming, also pretty cool in my opinion. Better geared towards more casual gamers, but still pretty cool. Like you can spectate, stream, and actually take control of a friend's game remotely.
That's pretty cool.
Which is really like, you know, hey Anthony, I can't get past this part. You can, you know, step in and take care of it for me.
Hey Anthony, I can't beat the last boss of Lost Planet.
Fuck you, man! Fuck you, okay? Don't bring that up.
That's
Sore
funny.
subject.
Sore subject.
Dude, have we even, like, mentioned that in this
I don't
podcast?
think so. It's never been relevant.
Would you like to tell the story? Because now it's fucking relevant.
So basically, in the early days of the Xbox, apparently, because this is fucking Lost Planet 1 we're talking about, I went over to Dan's house just to, hang out, and he's sitting there. He's like, oh, hey, Dan, what's up? And he's just like, oh, hey, Anthony, you're the coolest. And basically, he was sitting there, he was playing Lost Planet, and he's just like, yeah, you want to take a crack at this? I've been stuck at this for a little while. I gotta go to the bathroom. And first try...
It was the final boss.
Final boss of Lost Planet. He gets back, first try, that boss is done for, and he starts flipping out.
I was stuck on that thing for like a good 2 hours or something.
Really? Holy shit.
Something like that, man. Like, I couldn't get past it.
I didn't even know the fucking controls.
Fuck you, okay?
Now I can do that without leaving my home.
Way to really encourage kids to not go outside anymore.
Oh, no, you should. Life is beautiful.
Yeah, whatever you say, buddy.
Life is beautiful.
But
I would, just on an unrelated note, I would not be able to live confined inside my home.
That's good to know.
I am marveled at the beauty of life and nature.
Oh, Peacock, you gotta let me fly! That was a movie reference, you know what it was from?
No.
The other guys, just... damn it. I'm looking a total fool on the air.
Red Dawn? Oh, you mean Wolverines? Did you just make a reference to a movie you've never seen before?
Seriously.
That's funny.
God. Anyway, so yeah, like this whole social gaming thing is really cool. Let's see, what else? Sony bought Gaikai, which for those of you who don't know, is a cloud streaming, is a game cloud streaming service that basically enables Sony customers, I guess, to like if you buy a game and you haven't downloaded it yet and it starts downloading, you can play it as it's downloading in the background, thanks to this cloud-based gaming service. Gaikai was like unheard of before this.
Yeah. You know, when they first talked about how Sony was buying them out like a year ago,
Yeah.
I was sitting there going, what is the fucking relevance of this?
Right?
Now that everything is falling into place, that is a big thing right there.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Anyway, let's see, what else we got besides that? Oh, okay. This is going to piss a lot of people off, but the PS3, the PS4 will not be backwards compatible with any PS3 discs or digital games.
Yeah.
That's going to piss a lot of people off, but actually, we were talking about this before, and I would like you to please say what you thought before about this.
According to Sony, having backwards compatibility would be too extensive on the newer chips.
Which is really weird when you
It's
think about that.
weird to think about, but at the same time, it's an understandable thing to...
It would be too much of an inconvenience on these new super-powered chips.
Yeah, so when
I think it's just the fact that it's the architecture type. Like I was saying before,
Yeah.
if you have an 86-bit operating system,
That's
you can't download shit.
That's probably like the biggest part of it. I
Yeah.
have to say.
Except for the people who are actually developing it specifically for this architecture type. But what do they say about possibly doing this in the future?
What?
What do they say about possibly bringing backwards compatibility or legacy content, in the future?
Basically, that comes back down to streaming.
Streaming and emulation, I think, right?
Yeah, streaming is the bigger part of it. Like a lot of it will be streamable.
Well, yeah, because if Gaikai is involved, then you can just take that, PS3 content and just stream it backwards
even further back in some cases.
Well, yeah, I think because they wanted this. Their slogan was everything everywhere, including the PS Vita.
Mm-hmm.
You can now play any PS4 game on the PS Vita. Well, not now, but you will be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty big.
Yeah,
I think.
I'd have to say.
That's definitely cool because you can pause your game on your PS4 at home, pick up your Vita and continue going, and you're still playing the same game where you left off.
Cloud gaming and streaming, it hit me for the first time a while ago when I went downstairs and on my mom's shitty, not shitty, but clearly not a gaming laptop.
Shitty. It's not gaming quality, it's shitty, I'm sorry.
Fuck you. And
what?
I see my brother playing Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Blew my fucking mind.
Really?
Blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, definitely is.
So it's really,
cool.
it's all, when it all comes into place, it really comes to be something that could be pretty groundbreaking.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so another thing, the DualShock 3 controllers are not going to be compatible with the PS4 as well.
That's disappointing.
That is very disappointing. It's just a fucking controller. Come on.
Too much of a stress on those newer shit. Which is a far cry considering
that punny.
Good deflect there, Obi-Wan. Jesus Christ. But the Wii U, all of the everything from the Wii fucking works with. Shut the fuck up. I don't even know where that water bottle
I don't know.
You
You
asshole.
threw it at me. I just instinctively swatted away.
No, you. Fucking nerdy little block, you asshole.
Nerdy little block. I will nerdy whip your ass up and down this room.
Inappropriate.
Where were you going with what you were saying again?
Something, I was just comparing it to the Wii U and how the Wii U, all the accessories work from the Wii.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, DualShock 3 is not going to be compatible with the PS4. The new DualShock, the DualShock 4, has a touchpad on the front and the back, has a share button on the back, too, so you can upload it directly to Ustream, not YouTube or Twitch TV. I just think that Ustream probably threw an immense amount of money at Sony and be like, use us! Help! What are you doing? What? You're reading right now. Am I boring you?
No. No. God, you fucking complicated. I was just looking at something.
Yeah, okay. Let's see, what else we got going on with the PS4. How about, let's get into the games that they showed off and announced. First off, we have Killzone Shadowfall, which looked breathtaking for a first-person shooter.
I've never been one for Killzone, so I can't really judge the game itself, but as far as...
I've played all of them, but, they were always on the forefront of graphics, as far as PlayStation goes.
I've got to say, it does look impressive, regardless of what I think of, the game itself.
Yeah.
Very impressive look.
So that looked great. There is a new Infamous game coming out called Infamous Second Son. Now, it's... they said that it takes place within the same universe as Cole McGrath, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's basically about different people with superpowers. Not just Cole. Because depending on which ending you picked, this game should not exist. Do you know the endings?
Yeah, I know the endings.
Okay, so depending on which ending you picked, I'm not going to get into that right now. This game really shouldn't exist, but if you pick one ending, then yeah, it's perfectly plausible. So I think the route that they're taking, that Sucker Punch is taking, which by the way, Sucker Punch has a completely different logo now.
Really?
Yeah, it's very modernized, and the S and the P are in this perfect little rectangle.
Uh-huh.
It's no longer that whole Sly Cooper thing.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
Complain.
Yeah, that's what the internet's for, buddy. Anyway, so Second Son, we have this character, I forgot his name, but He has a really odd power. You ever see X-Men First Class?
No.
Big fucking surprise.
I'm such a disappointing person, I guess.
You really are. Okay, you know who Nightcrawler is, right?
Well, yeah.
I'm just making sure, okay? This guy could teleport, but at the same time he has these weird kind of fire powers.
Okay.
And he uses this chain, too, which he uses to, like, disintegrate people.
Ghost Rider.
Okay, that's fair enough. Ghost Rider with teleportation, essentially.
I'm being an asshole, just continue.
Well, yeah, I know that, but, you know, that's just, yeah. So Ghost Rider with teleportation. And it was all, I don't know, no, it had to have been a pre-rendered cutscene. It was all pre-rendered.
Yeah, that wasn't gameplay.
Yeah, that wasn't gameplay. It was all pre-rendered, and it was just basically saying that the game exists. There was no release date, no nothing, no gameplay.
Just an announcement.
Exactly. So that was Infamous Second Son. The next game, I don't really want to talk about it, but it's worth mentioning just because it's on PS4. It's called Knack. I really can't describe it that much. And I didn't see it. It's an action adventure game. That's really it. Very kid friendly. As far as I'm going. Next we have what?
I just find it funny.
Next we have Watch Dogs, which you just saw the gameplay demo for it on PS4.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw it, it was something that intrigued me, and now that I've seen a lot more of it,
Watch Dogs looks legit.
Very impressed.
Watch Dogs looks awesome. The very concept of this game is something that should have been touched on a really long time ago in gaming, I think.
I'm trying to remember because like I'm a little fuzzy on like what the whole background story is. I know it's just like there are certain people who can like kind of track everyone and everything through technology.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember how the protagonist gets
the characters. The protagonist, they activate within like cells.
Okay.
So, because in the announcement during the E3 demo, at the end of it, there was a radio voiceover, and it was like, take over for this guy, and there was a bunch of blips around a map, and that was basically, those were the watchdogs. I'm doing air quotes right now. So it's not just this dude that's doing this. There's a whole organization. But basically...
They're like vigilantes almost.
Yeah, exactly. But basically, anybody can be hacked in this world. With a fucking smartphone, no less.
I really like it how he walked past the one guy, immediately hacked his bank account, and then went to the ATM and took the money out of it.
Took out $420 in his name. And the cool thing is, like, you can see crime probability, and you have to help these people and whatnot.
Yeah,
but
that was really cool.
Yeah, in his getaway escape, he took control of a fucking train and stopped it completely.
So he could get on.
Got on it, and they made it go again.
Yeah.
Because everything, it doesn't even have to be in the future. Everything today, regardless, it's all controlled by computers.
There's a lot of stuff that is connected to electronics.
Yeah. Like I said before, I really don't understand why this wasn't touched on, earlier in gaming.
Definitely an interesting concept.
Yeah.
That game is officially on, my watch list.
Absolutely. Alright, so next we have a game called Deep Down, which you think it's going to be...
I've heard, basically, there's a lot of speculation going on that it is, in fact, the next Dragon's Dogma.
I could see that happening.
And I say there's a lot of things that point to it. First of all, something I noticed right away, which could possibly mean nothing. Deep Down Dragon's Dogma 2Ds.
Oh, okay.
That's something I noticed. That's like the gay little thing that I noticed.
Well, no, I mean, games have been... They've done stranger things to hint at
a lot of things I noticed. First of all, they were fighting a dragon in it. I know that's not very, telling, but there's that. Second of all, the sequel for Dragon's Dogma 2, was greenlit already. It was greenlit mid last year.
Didn't it do a lot better than expected?
Definitely. So, shock, sleeper hit, whatever you want to call it, of last year.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right.
Not only that, so yeah, it was greenlit. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was being developed for at least, a couple months now.
Yeah.
I also would find it very odd if Capcom were to put out another, medieval-esque, game while they have another Dragon's Dogma in development.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, actually.
So, not only that, something that threw me for a loop, just stepping away from, the Dragon's Dogma speculation, is at the end, it kind of, gave it almost, a feel of what the original Assassin's Creed trailer did, where it's just, before, like, I don't remember how exactly Assassin's Creed was announced, so I don't know if it was, like, forefront, that you were, in fact, living through, like, the memories of your ancestors, so it was kind of a mixture of, like, olden time with, like, a background of technology. Like,
Okay.
with, like, the glitches and, like,
Yeah.
the visuals and everything like that.
Yeah.
I kind of got that feeling near the end of it, where, like, there was, like, a helicopter noise, and it, like, showed, like, a motherboard and shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was either, like, alluding to some kind of multiplayer element, or if it was, like, some kind of... I don't know. It threw me for a loop at the end when you saw all of that.
Yeah.
And something interesting I saw is that, like, there's, like, the whole... you probably don't know about it because you're not, like, too connected to fighting games, but, like, the whole thing is, like, I forget how to pronounce it, Yoshinoro Ono.
Okay.
He was the, like, lead producer of Street Fighter for a while. He's the one who really brought it back with Street Fighter 4.
Okay.
And, essentially his whole running gag is, like, in all of his pictures, he's holding a little doll of this Blanca character from Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, at the end, there's, like, a message to Ono from the Blanca doll, like, saying, like, bring supplies or something like that. I'm pinned down requesting assistance. I did not know what all of that was about.
Mm-hmm.
That completely, like, confused the shit out of me.
Well, you actually mentioned something. You said something at the end of the gameplay reveal that it could be something to do with multiplayer.
Yeah.
Because the message said that he needed help and he couldn't beat the boss or whatever.
Yeah.
And it said SOS, SOS.
Yeah.
So it could have been like some kind of multiplayer component to
because,
that.
like, multiplayer was one of the biggest demands in Dragon's Dogma, if this has anything to do with Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That really...
The biggest thing that I want to touch on,
Uh-huh.
as far as Deep Down goes, is that there were some parts of the game that...
where, like, showed a little bit of a HUD.
It looked legit, like, you got the first-person view and all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but, and, like, there was a HUD on the screen, and then there were other parts where it looked completely cinematic. 100%, but there was still a HUD.
And there's another thing.
That kind of bothered me a little bit.
Is it first person?
I don't know.
Because I remember at the beginning, like, the guy throws someone else a torch.
Cash it.
Yeah,
You know,
but then there's other parts where it looks like it's controlling from, like, a third-person standpoint.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think there
was a lot of confusing things about it.
There really was. That's kind of bothered me because are they trying to show it off as something more than what it's really going to be?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of concerning to me because it's a brand new console. Granted, what we've seen so far looks great, but I don't know. They're trying to pull the wool over our eyes or what? That's just...
Yeah, Dan thinks Sony's fucking with us.
I wouldn't be the first time.
Whoa! Shots fired.
So yeah, I mean that's everything that I have on my iPad on my list. So, you have anything else to add to this? Yes, no.
Really interested to see with all this, like, basically Sony unleashing the next gen upon us.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how Microsoft reacts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because this is gonna pretty much dictate how they're gonna do for the next generation.
Sony threw down the gauntlet.
They did, and here's why. They would never in a million years fuck up as much as to release a console 1 year after Microsoft has. Like they did with this generation.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably the biggest fuck up they could have done. Alright? You're right, they threw down the motherfucking gauntlet. They're not gonna let that happen again.
It's definitely... Microsoft needs to, like, come back and hit hard because, like, just in the public look, not to say, like, they're doing poorly right now.
Xbox 360 sold a shitload more than any other console.
I'd say, and maybe I'm biased just because, I was with Xbox longer. I mean, now I have, like, the PS3 and everything. But I feel that the Xbox is more popular.
I think so as well.
I'd say. I don't know if we're both biased just because we play a lot of
That
Xbox.
is quite possible.
So,
Not gonna lie.
if I'm wrong and there's just some statistic out there, fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. Like I said, it's just my own personal opinion. I just feel that way.
Okay.
And I feel like if Sony can grasp this generation a little better, this upcoming generation,
I think
it
this
could
generation
definitely be a big move.
mainly is going to be about graphics and social integration. I think those are going to be the two biggest things. Only because we're in 2013. We're at the point in technology where there's no excuse for a bad looking game. At the same time, everything is connected through Facebook. Like, in gaming, it's
There's
just
a lot
become
of
such
factors.
gaming has just become such a I would say social media has become such a big component of gaming at this point that I think those are going to be the two biggest angles, I guess you can call it, on this generation. Just graphics and social media. Two biggest things is what I think is going to become in this gen.
Definitely. I mean, they're very strong points. Not even if, like, I think we discussed this before where me and you aren't too concerned about the social networking part of it. Because you don't
have to use it.
Yeah, we're not necessarily too, like, super big into, like, the whole networking aspect of it. I think, it's just something that doesn't appeal, but you can't argue that it's not a strong market.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I just want to get that back up. I will say that, just leaving the generation that we're in going into the next one, while the Xbox feels more popular, there's a lot of things that Sony can, like, pick up on that can definitely pull it into their favor. Like, something we didn't talk about is the PlayStation Plus system and how it's going to add a bunch of different features and how, like, their online system... You mentioned how the online system is actually going to have chats now and everything like that.
Oh, yeah, it's also going to come with a headset, so people will actually talk online now.
Yeah, the chats are actually... You can chat between any Sony device, including, like, the Vita.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's cool.
And I'm not sure on... I think they're going with more of an approach with, like, the silver gold system, but silver you can still actually play online and everything like that.
You can't play online on silver?
I'm talking about, like, the PlayStation 4 version of it.
Oh, well, no, I mean, like, on Xbox you can't play online with a silver account.
I'm aware of that.
Oh,
man.
okay. All
I'm
right.
saying PlayStation 4 Silver Live, you can still play online.
Okay.
Like, the free version you can still play online.
Oh, okay.
And I really think that, going into the next generation, that might actually be a big issue for Microsoft.
I don't think they're going to step down from Xbox Live Gold.
And I think that could hurt them.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I think that Live is a better service than PlayStation Plus. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, because you're paying for the exclusive content with a lot of stuff, first of all.
I'm not arguing, like, that Xbox Live isn't worth the money. I'm arguing more like
in order to compete.
They're very different services if you narrow it down like that, like PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold.
Yeah.
Gold gives you the ability to play online, it gives you decent service, and it, like, gives you a lot of exclusivity.
Yeah.
But PlayStation Plus, you're basically signing up for discounts and free games. It's almost like it's like a membership to, like, some kind of club or something like that.
Makes sense.
I feel like you can't compare the two services because they offer different things.
All right.
So I feel like how that's handled by Microsoft going into the next generation could be a huge factor for them.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, Microsoft, like, right now, obviously when these consoles hit, I'm buying one and I'm sticking with that for a while. Right now, my money's going towards the PlayStation 4. Not that it's, like, hard.
I mean, you can't even make
Yeah,
the call.
exactly. Not like it's hard to, like, beat nothing with something. But, like, normally...
I mean, I know I'm going to buy both of them regardless.
Like, look at it this way. Mike,
yeah,
our good friend Mike, he's probably... He doesn't care about that. He's probably still like, oh, I'm just gonna get the next Xbox.
Yeah.
Me, not to say that there's anything wrong with being loyal. Me, a little bit more open-minded. I'm actually willing to consider the fact that maybe the PlayStation 4 may be the better choice going into the next generation.
Yeah.
So basically, Microsoft just needs to step it up, show that they care a little bit, and really wow me.
Fair enough.
Because my opinion is important.
So is your money. Especially to them.
Hopefully they're not fully 100% concerned with the money.
Alright, well, this has been another exhilarating episode of the Pre-Game Lobby.
Very exhilarating.
This is Dan and Anthony signing out for the night. Alright, good night. Did you hit the stop button already?
No.
Alright, fine, I'm leaving then.
Bye, Dan.
Bye.